Hi everybody, Steve Cagle from Midwest Fillers here. I'm videotaping today by myself, so we're going to be shutting this on and off, but my purpose today is to share with you our newest product line. This is called a programmable filling machine. And the reason we call it a programmable filling machine is because we're able to count the rotations of the auger to control how much product we actually dispense. Taking a quick look at the machine a little bit here, the difference in the machine, coming back from here down, it's the same as our previous model, the semi-automatic filler, the semi-auto. The one that had the foot control, a lot of you have already looked at that video, but this one adjusts the same as the semi-auto, so I'm not going to go through how to adjust this up and down and clean. You can reference the other videos to know how to adjust the height of this machine and to take it apart and clean it. Works the same as the other machines. The difference on this machine is it's automated. We have the motor, a toggle switch to turn the motor off and on. We have an RPM dial which adjusts the speed of the motor, more and less. I'm running this about right somewhere in the middle for this demonstration. We have a cycle start button, and then we have a counter. Now off to the side over here, we have an off and on switch to that's from the power source. Now what you note right here, this is the spinner plate laying on the back of the sheet. For this demonstration, we have coffee, and with coffee, we do not need a spinner plate. So I'm going to use this bowl to catch my product in, and I'm going to use this scale to share with you the accuracy of the dispense and how to actually change the amount we're dispensing. So to start with, to start the machine, we'll turn the power on, and then which will power the counter, and then we will turn the motor on. You always turn the power on first, because when we're getting ready to turn the power on, we'll turn the power on. Power's on. Now we see that our counter is lit up with 74 counts and 0. I just chose 74 as an arbitrary number to start this out with, and we're going to talk through that in a moment. But the reason I turn the power button on the side on first is when you turn the motor on, then you need a container at the bottom, because when you turn the motor on, it runs through one cycle. I see it run through and it counted up to 74. We have a sensor on the auger, which and it counts, and that's where the counter picks up its numbers at from the auger. We have dispensed product, and now I'm going to take that product and I'm going to put this back in the container. I want to turn the scale on and carry the scale out. We're reading in ounces and tenths of ounces. So every time we hit cycle start, we're going to run 74 counts. So I'm going to hit cycle start, and we're running 74 counts. 74 counts is dispensing 2.2 ounces of coffee. Now, depending upon the weight of your product, the number of counts will vary depending on how much product you want. All the product weighs differently, so no two are going to be exactly the same. This specific product with 74 counts dispenses 2.2 ounces of product. Now I'm going to put that back in there, and I'm going to cycle start one more time. .3 ounces. Cycle start one more time. 2.2 ounces. Must be right on the line between 2.2 and 2.3. Cycle start one more time. 2.3 ounces. Okay, so we got right at 2.2 to 2.3 ounces. Now let's say that what we need to do is we want to dispense 3 ounces. In order to dispense 3 ounces, then we have to increase this number on the counter from 74 to another number. And we don't know what the number is yet, but then I'll show you how to do that. You take the number off the counter, divided by the weight of 2.2 ounces, and we want to increase that. That will give you a multiplier, and you can increase 0.8 ounces. So we'll go from 2.2 to 3.0. 0.8 ounces is our multiplier, so we got to remember that. I'm going to take a calculator here. I'm going to take the calculator here, and the number is 74 on the counter. 74 divided by 2.2 equals, that's your number. So now we want to go times 0.8 ounces. 0.8 equals, oops, excuse me, I messed that up. Clear that out. 74 divided by 2.2 equals times 0.8. And the reason times 0.8 is because we want to increase the weight by 0.8 ounces. Equals. Now we have 26.9 is our number. So what we're going to do, we're going to round that up to 27. So we'll clear this out, and we'll take 27 plus 74, which is where our counter's at now, equals, we want our counter to read 101. So if we come up here and we hit this button right here, then it lights up this entire line. Now we want this counter to read 101. So I'm going to lower this number to 1. I'm going to move over. See how this is highlighted here? I want to move over to the left 1. Now see how the 7's kind of flashing? I want that to be 0. And I want 101. That's the number I want. So then I'm going to hit mode, and it changes that to 101. Now the next time I dispense a product should be very close to 3.0 ounces. Now my scale has shut off, so I'm going to turn my scale back on. Zero that out. All right, I'm going to cycle start. 3.0 ounces. I'm going to dump that, and I'm going to cycle start one more time. 3.0 ounces. Cycle start. 2.9 ounces. Cycle start. 2.9 ounces. I had 2 at 3.0 and 2 at 2.9. I'm going to increase this 1 or 2 counts and see if I can make that more consistent at 3.0. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit the mode button. I'm going to hit this button right beside the mode button to highlight all this line. I'm going to highlight that line. This one's flashing. I want to increase that by 2 counts. I'm going to hit mode. And now we're going to see if we can be more consistent at 3.0 ounces. 3.0. 3.1. So I'm right on the high side now. Three point oh. 3.0. Okay, that's how we demonstrate how to change the setting here, change the count. I'm going to go over this again, and I would probably, if I was running this myself, drop that down, maybe define it one more notch, and I would hit this button here, highlights it. And as you can press this button now, each one of them, see the second line is flashing, the third light is flashing, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth light is flashing. Now it goes back to the first light again. So we can actually count 10,000 counts with this counter, or 99,999, excuse me. But we will, rarely. 100 counts is giving us 3 ounces of a product that weighs similar to coffee. Now, I did use flour on this product, on this machine, and flour is heavier. And with 100 counts, it dispensed somewhere in the ballpark of 5 ounces of product with 100 counts. But right now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to lower this number. This is up and this one's down. I'm going to lower this number to 2, and I'm going to go to the mode and reset that. So now, and I'm going to run through my cycle. I ran an entire hopper of coffee through this machine, and it dispensed at plus or minus 0.1 ounce of variation with coffee. With flour, I had a little more variation with flour because of the density. It actually packed a little bit tighter, I think is what happened there. And the accuracy level was plus or minus 0.2 ounces of weight per dispense. So overall, it's pretty good. It's pretty accurate. This is the machine. The machine from here down is the same as our standard machine. The only thing we have is we put a little better control on the top of it. So to give you a little more automation, which is what you've asked for. Now, I do want to share with you one other thing. When you shut this machine down, there's a sequence. You shut it down, you turn the motor off, and then you turn the power off. The reason you do it in that sequence is, I will share with you, if you turn it back on, turn the motor back on, now it resets the counter to 0, and when you turn the motor on, you make sure you have something underneath there, because right now I'm going to turn the motor on, and it dispenses to whatever you have the counter set for. And now, when you shut it down, if you turn the main power off without turning the motor switch off, then it will spit out just a little bit of product. And so if you'll shut the motor down first, you'll eliminate that. And always have a container underneath the spout when you first run through the cycle. Now I ran several cycles through this to dispense the product into the auger to make sure that the auger was full. So I had what I call is pre-prime the auger. So for this demonstration, I had a pre-primed auger, and I had no spinner plate. But I think this is the machine that a lot of you guys have asked for, and we're pretty proud of it actually. So if you got any questions or concerns, give me a call. I'll be putting this on the website pretty soon, and this new machine will be available shortly. Thanks, everyone.